Hey fam! The tea is piping hot because Halle and DDG just had a court date, and it looks like DDG may have scored a little win this time. But trust me, the details are wild, so stick around because I'm about to break this all the way down. Now let's start from the top. You guys already know Halle Bailey filed for a restraining order against DDG, right? Well, DDG clapped back and filed one too. Like, instead of this being calm co-parenting vibes, they're literally battling it out in court with lawyers, paperwork, and everything. And the crazy part is, it's not even just about the restraining order. It's about their son Halo and what each parent feels should or shouldn't happen when it comes to him. So, what actually went down at court? So, Halle Bailey's big request was that DDG should only get supervised visits with Halo. Meaning, whenever DDG wants to see his son, somebody else has to be there to watch everything and make sure nothing suspicious happens. And on top of that, Halle did not want DDG posting Halo anywhere on social media. Now, that's a big deal, because we all know DDG lives on social media. His whole career is tied to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all of it. So imagine being told you can't even post your own kid. That's tough. Halle didn't actually show up to court in person. She had her lawyer represent her instead. It's allowed for DV victims. Meanwhile, DDG was there, sitting in the courtroom with his lawyer and his mom. But plot twist, his mom was asked to leave the courtroom because she's actually listed as a witness. Like, this is sounding more like a drama series than a co-parenting situation, right? And remember when DDG went to Italy not too long ago? That was one of the times he was allowed to see Halle. There were pictures of him and his son eating ice cream, looking all happy, but paparazzi just so happened to be there snapping pics. Well, Halle is accusing DDG of setting that whole thing up. She claims he literally called the paparazzi so they could get photos of him with Halle and splash them all over the internet. Basically, she's saying he's staging moments for clout. Now hold up, what do y'all think about that? Because that's a heavy accusation. Halle is basically saying he's using the baby for attention, and her other argument was that DDG's fan base causes her stress and harassment whenever Halo gets posted? So from her side, it's like, this whole social media thing is toxic for me and the baby, so I don't want it at all. But of course, DDG wasn't about to just sit there and take all of that. He came back and denied everything. He said he had nothing to do with the paparazzi being there. According to him, he can't control who takes pictures of him when he's out in public, especially when he's overseas. And honestly, that's kind of true. I mean, celebs get snapped all the time without them calling anyone, so it's hard to prove one way or another. On top of denying the paparazzi claims, DDG also made his own requests. He said he wants overnight visitation with Halo, like being able to have his son for weekends, not just a few hours here and there. He even laid out a schedule asking for every Saturday and alternating Sundays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And to show he's being flexible, he said he's open to supervised visits as long as it clears up all the drama around videos or pictures. Basically, DDG was like, I just want to see my kid more, and I'll follow rules if I have to. So what did the judge decide? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The judge ruled that DDG does still need supervised visits for now when he's with Halo. But the judge also decided that neither parent can post Halo on social media. Yep, you heard that right. Halle didn't want DDG posting the baby, but now she can't post him either. The judge leveled the playing field. And here's why people are calling this a win for DDG. Halle originally wanted DDG restricted from posting Halo, but it turns out that someone else actually posted a picture of Halo before, and she didn't seem to have an issue with that. So in court, that kind of weakened her argument. Now with this ruling, she's stuck with the same restriction as DDG. No one's allowed to put Halo online. Period. The next court date is set for October 15th, and people are already buzzing about how this battle might go next. But for right now, a lot of fans feel like DDG came out on top because he wasn't completely shut out. he still gets to see Halo, and Halle can't post the baby either. Now, here's the bigger question. Do y'all think DDG is really using Halo for clout? Or is he just trying to be a dad and share his life like any other parent would? It's tricky, because DDG's career is tied to the internet, so every move he makes ends up online. But at the same time, that's still his son. And most parents post their kids without it being drama. Do you feel like DDG scored a real win here? Or do you think Halle still has the upper hand? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
So let me let y'all know the tea. So the tea today is Halle and DDG went to court today. So DDG still fighting for, his little visitations, his ones and twos, 50-50, while Halle still want 100%. Halle brings up how it was recorded, DDG was recorded when he had Halo, and she was pissed off about it or whatever. How he basically hired paparazzi to do all that and then post it on the internet. It's like, girl, you hire paparazzi to take pictures of you or that man on the water. At this point, she hate him. She hate that man. And I think she doing this just to prolong him from not seeing his kid. But this is getting weird. It's not.
Now remember, DDG said free Halo. Well, words are powerful because Halo has been freed from the shackles of his clout-chasing industry flop parents. I said what I said. I am so glad that judge told both of them, y'all do not need to be posting about each other or posting y'all baby online. Thank God, this is the best news I have heard all year, because whatever is going on between them and their kid is none of our business, and I'm tired of hearing about it. Halle, where your album at? Oh yeah, it's in the back of Beyonce's wig closet. And as far as DDG, all your music goes double denim, so you can save it. Stick to streaming. Stick to having a PR relationship with India Love. I like you better when you stream and when you clown around. I don't want to see you recording no more music. I don't want to see you in nobody's studio. I want y'all to focus on your kid. Y'all cannot be serious about being parents. You cannot convince me that y'all are good, engaged, active, attentive parents if you spend all of your time with your kid, when y'all are with your kid, with a camera in his face, showing this minor off to strangers on the internet. Both of y'all are sorry as hell. Both of y'all are down bad. I'm glad that judge put an end to it. Halo is free. Gotta be careful what you say.
And after today, I believe y'all when y'all say Halle hates that man DDG, like she gotta hate him. Now, if y'all don't know, in California, there's a rule that if you're a survivor of DV, that they actually encourage you to appear via Zoom call rather than in person. That way you don't have to, come into contact with the person that allegedly harmed you. So yeah, Halle decided to do it virtual, did not appear physically. And not only that, but DDG's mom tried to go into court with him, and she was told that she had to leave because she's a witness and everything. Now, if y'all don't know, Cousin Tino on Twitter be having all the tea when it comes to the courtroom drama, especially with DDG and Halle. So he's been there in person a few times. And according to him, nothing went in DDG's favor, like not even a little bit. So originally, DDG and his team had proposed that he would get an overnight visit with Halo every other weekend and then one weekday visit every week. Sounds pretty reasonable, but no, denied. So they then double back and propose that he gets him every Saturday and then every other Sunday from 9 to 6 and then every Wednesday. And is even willing for the visits to be monitored, which is kind of awkward and kind of crazy, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like unless somebody is really in harm's way, the monitored visits always just, felt uncomfortable, like they're not, like whatever, that's here nor there. So they couldn't come to any agreement and are now scheduled to go back into court on October 15th. Of course, DDG still has limited visitation. Neither Halle nor DDG are still not allowed to post him on the media or even talk about the situation, really. Now, mind y'all, all of this is taking place in California. So if you don't know, they go by something called a step-up plan, which is where you kind of start with like this visitation and you can work your way up with like day visits and then maybe overnight visits, and then eventually you'll get back to, where everything is how you want it to be. And honestly, with California being a state that does not play with DV, they definitely are not going to be on DDG's side. So it's really sad that this is playing out the way it's supposed to, because he's still, until they can come to an agreement, having limited visitation because of alleged domestic, physical, and verbal abuse. As crazy as all this sounds, I still some way feel like Halo is not the center of worry here. Like, not to shun away from the fact that, Halle is saying that DDG did these things to her and vice versa, but at the end of the day, like, what danger does he pose to Halo? Especially with all this being out in the media, especially with him saying that he's willing for things to be supervised. It's like, I don't know. Things just don't really seem like genuine. Like, they don't seem like they're being done for the right reasons. I hope that it all blows over, because at the end of the day, Halo is still so young, so I feel like they can like turn this around and save it before he gets old enough to remember any of it. But the way it's looking, is definitely some bitterness going on. Like, I can't really judge who it's coming from, what's going on behind the scenes, but y'all know what I'm saying. Something is off.